Peace to the family. Give me one moment to set this up and I'll be right with y'all. Peace to the family. Give me one moment to set this up and I'll be right with y'all. Mm-mm-mm. All right, we got that. Let me put this here. Go ahead and cut that off. Let me set this up like this. Let me hit this like that, like boom, like that. Optimize boom, like that. Lacking. Turn it up and up. All right, family. Let's do it. Let's do it. Make sure everything is copacetic steady and everything is good and ready. Hope everybody is good. We're gonna do something a little different today. Just want to make sure everything's showing up the right way. Let me put it on the full screeny. Full screeny. Yeah. Okay. Got the first slide. All right. All right. All right. We in the building. So let me see. We put it on. Get the chat. Show love to the chat room. Spiritual expression. Tirza, Prime Harmonic, Concho Billionaire, Cosmic Core Phil, Roy Shaman, Philip, Mad Titan, Miami Sutra, Manifest and Bliss. What are we doing? Manifest and Bliss. What are we doing? Manifest and Bliss. What are we doing? Manifest and Bliss, family. So here we are today. What are we doing? We're just doing like a little soft episode of The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, man. This is episode 15. Y'all know how I do. Y'all know what it's about. This is going to be a cross reference of mythology, the news, articles, points in time, sports, and how, what is the truth? What is the fiction, family? I don't know anymore. My research got me bugged the fuck out, family. So, this is just like one of many videos that I got down the pike, family. Is like I got so much content that I want to deliver, and I'm only just one person. So beyond that, I just want to get into this build. What we gonna be talking about? We're gonna be talking about Camazotz. We're gonna be talking about bats. We're gonna be talking about more Camazotz. We're gonna be talking about the Hero Twins. We're gonna be talking about Space Jam 1 and 2. We're gonna talk about LeBron. We're gonna talk about Kobe. We're gonna talk about MJ. We're gonna talk about sports. We're gonna talk about the history of sports. Why is sports significant? What is the spiritual significance to sports in a way you never seen it before? Sources, documents, all of that shit, bro. We ain't playing around. Not today. Why would I come on here, right? And not present the slideshow, family? You feel me? Shout out to Prime Harmonic for the vibes, the slideshow vibes. I was like, oh, we ain't about to do this no other way, family. So without further ado, we are now about to jump deep down the rabbit hole. Before you jump down deep with the rabbit hole, please like, subscribe, share this video. Let the family know the rabbit hole exists and we're all in it, family. We're all in the rabbit hole, family. And after this, we can come out and we can be normal. But right now, let's get a little crazy. Okay? Let's get a little crazy, right? Dark Knight Space Jam. This is a Hood Mystic presentation, probably brought to you by hoodmystic.com, family. The Dark Knight Space Jam. And so the vibes is like, I'm mad excited. But it's like family, right? It's family, right? So you gotta be geeked and mellow. I'm geeked and mellow, family. I'm turned up to 5. I'm turned up to 5, family. Who at 5 with me? You don't want to wake up the babies, family. You don't want to wake up the babies. Let's get into some information. Let's talk about some things that we don't necessarily talk about all the time. Let's do the Dark Knight. Space Jam, family. Let's talk about how the truth is much stranger than fiction, because lo and behold, they putting out these fantastical movies and we like, oh wow, that movie is so um weird. That movie is so out there. That movie, I would never know what to do if we lived in a society like in Dark Knight Rises, right? I wouldn't know what to do in a society if we had to go through Space Jam. Well, guess what, family? We are in the Dark Knight Space Jam. So before we get into this conversation, we're going to talk about postmodern psychology. So what we are entered into is the postmodern psychology, and the postmodern psychology is the experience of reality, as opposed to just a subjective construct where we all can get behind certain ideas, we can get behind certain truths, or we can't. You know, a person could be right in front of you and hold a different belief, but that shouldn't matter in the postmodern world. There's no real difference between mental health and mental illness, right? It's only experience of reality. So what I'm saying is that a lot of times people just simply live their lives in this world without actually experiencing this world. Everything set up in your life is brought upon by another person's words, thoughts, ideologies, perspectives on the world. I give y'all an example like Jade, and we was talking about downtown Dallas, and she was like, "Oh, I hate it here," right? And I was like, "Well, that may be true, but you also got ancestors there that need your help." And then like 2 weeks later, she come on like, "Yeah, you was right. I was down there with my ancestors. I found this part. I made this connection, and I'm having this type of walkthrough. I'm walking with my Anubis dog. I'm with the baby, and I'm just, it made sense." And me and her can vibe on that level. However, if she turned like to her neighbor or something and said, "Yeah, I be walking downtown freeing the ancestors," they'd be like, "Girl, you crazy? You crazier than a motherfucker." You said that girl said she was walking downtown freeing her ancestors. Like, what in the fuck is wrong with her? Right? But we live in a postmodern world. There is no essential truth. So when we look at this world that we dealing with in a particular games that's being played, we got to understand that. See, in postmodern psychology, you got to understand as many different approaches to your life. Just like Trump said in the press conference yesterday, he was like, "Yo, some of us can wear masks. I ain't about to wear no damn mask, but you can wear a mask if you want. I don't give a shit. I done told y'all it was propaganda. I done told y'all this was fake. I done told y'all this was fake news. But if you want to wear a mask, the CDC says wear a mask, my nigga. Go crazy. Get you some shit with some bedazzles on it and shit. Turn up." Matter of fact, get you a mask and then open up little nose holes areas, and then like matter of fact, open up the mouth area so you can eat and still have your mask on, right? Right? Don't that make sense? I bet you money that people is now making masks where you can eat and smell and still wear your mask. And some people hearing me right now, like, damn, that's a good ass idea. Why not think of that? Oh shit. So man, and that'll work. Masks, like if you want to make some money, make some masks that people can eat out of. You know what I'm saying? Make a mask that people can eat out of. That'll really get some shit going. You will really make some money real quick, because that's two that's the best of both worlds. I can look like an idiot, like a mind control zombie, and I can eat when I'm hungry. Perfect, right? Perfect. So, so the idea with a postmodern psychology is that the use of any singular approach to knowing, the use of any singular approach, 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 this, that, and the third, to knowing is viewed with suspicion and assumed to oversimplify the complex reality that is a more accurate view of the world. So, a singular approach should be viewed with suspicion and assumed to oversimplify the complex reality that is more accurate view of the world. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Gemini. Shout out to Mad Titan. Shout out to Justina. Shout out to everybody, family, that's doing shit their way. Shout out to you if you got your baby daddy and your boyfriend living with you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Because it's time for the quarantine and nobody deserves to be alone, family. What? For some subjective false reality? You know you want to be with your baby dad and your boyfriend right now. You know they both need places to stay. Stop playing. Invite one of them over. So, Camazotz. Camazotz personifies entropy. That was for Gemini right there. That was a joke for Gemini. That was an insider, family. Family, we are in the building. Camazotz personifies entropy. Camazotz personifies entropy, meaning that if you're trying to hold up any sense of normalcy, the inevitable was Camazotz. The inevitable was the death bat. The inevitable was the sacrifice. The inevitable was the dark night rising. Okay. And good for us, right? Who experienced it before the masses experienced it. Because the masses experienced what we experienced, 2, 3 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, 7, 8, 9 years ago, right? When shit was just crazy, right? We was just in the house all the time, right? Didn't know nothing, didn't know nobody. Really thought we was going to go crazy and like if I commit suicide, right? Would that be the end of my life, or would it be somewhat better? Because death gotta be better than this shit. What is this shit that I call life? You know that dark night of the soul. We went through that, right? Because we conscious, we woke, we in the building. Woo woo, right? But what about the individuals who was working they 9 to 5s and looking at us with our cowrie shells and our cocoa butter like poor thing, right? Don't leave. Don't leave, Gemini. I'm just clowning. You know it's all love. So what it was like when you had to go through the dark night of the soul. Well, that's Camazotz. That's Camazotz. And he's a deity that's working 24 hours a day, 365, mainly on the night shift. It took a vacation, take some time off, but it's always death, right? No matter what age you lived in, right? No matter what time you lived in, right? No matter what world you lived in, no matter what country you lived in, no matter what society you lived in, we all have to deal with death, right? And the death that I'm talking about is the psychological death that everybody's dealing with that we've already experienced as woke folk. as conscious beings. We've already experienced the death of the ego. We are no longer Jermaine Johnson. We are Armand Ra Nefter of Pharaoh the Great, right? We Bastet, the goddess, right? We are not Cheryl Jones anymore. We went through that period. We went through the dark night of the soul. Our dark night has risen, and we chilling right now. But I'm more referencing what's going on in the world and more or less talking about this energy of Camazotz, where it's literally going for the jugular of the masses. So Kame means death. Satz means bat. And Camazotz, he ruled the twilight, meaning that he ruled the world when the world went into obscurity, ambiguity, and decline. Camazotz was a messenger of Xibalba, and Camazotz he ruled the House of Bats. So within these particular realms, the Mayans had particular games to which they would go through particular quests to either defeat the gods, align with the gods, come to deals with the gods. And in order to show what they was about, they would play these games. And one of the places that they had to go was to the area of Camazotz, the area of night, the area of death. And let's just say most people never made it out of this zone. You ain't make it. Like basically, it was like it's like Ready Player One, that race that everybody was on, that nobody could finish. At the end, that gorilla, that's Camazotz. Like you not going to win this race. Because death is going to for sure come. The House of Bats. So it's just more of a personification or understanding of the inevitable, of the entropy. A man gets old, the building decrepitates, or, all of these particular endings of things. The society dwindles, the economy ends. We just built that building. Who gives a fuck? It's over. Cancel it. We're out of here. You don't own it. We own it. AKA the government, AKA the people you pay taxes to, AKA if you don't pay these taxes, it's mine. He's mine. You may have had him once, but I got it all the time. It's mine. You may have had it once, but I'll repo it when I want to. You feel me? So Camazotz deals with the hero twins. Now, the hero twins are duality. Duality is anything. Duality is something that we perceive as one, but in actuality, it has another side. A human has a soul, right? The night has the day. One would say the night is different from the day. However, you've never experienced the night without experiencing the day. They seem to be synonymous with one, just one extreme of the other. So in understanding dualism and duality, one has to understand death. And to overcome duality, one has to defeat death. One has to defeat Camazotz. One has to go through the House of Bats and, you know what I'm saying, hit them with the crossover at the last second. Flu game. I'm out of 4-3. Nothing but net, baby. Yes. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. So ultimately, what I'm trying to explain is the energy of power, darkness, and the unknown. The thing that fears people about death, the reason why they can control people is to say, hey, this disease will kill you. That's the only thing they could say, right? When it comes to the propaganda and the conspiracy theory, all they could tell you is that this disease could kill you. And it's like, yeah, maybe it could kill me. So we're getting in my car and driving to work, but y'all never quarantine my goddamn job. I could have died going to work. What you talking about? I could have died driving to work. Okay, could have got, you know what I'm saying? They never quarantined my job. So what is the logic behind it? It's mind control, because they know that the human being, since they don't understand psychology, then they know that people just fear the unknown. People fear death. People fear the night. People fear the darkness. So what you got to understand about the hero twins is that they was good at games, because the hero twins were light and darkness. The hero twins were duality, or a psychologically sound person. Of course, you see this human being in front of you, but I'm also a soul. That's the hero twins. That's the hero's journey, when you understand that you have a spiritual part to this. Oh, that shit is intense, man. That shit get me every time. I be watching that shit like I ain't never seen that shit before. You feel me, family? So interesting fact about that actual part of the movie is that once he's climbing out of that pit, he's going back to Gotham. But what's happening in Gotham at this particular time, family? Gotham is in a state of quarantine. I find that part very, very interesting in the actual story. So, as in referencing, so I'm gonna just do this in a postmodern psychological way format for y'all. The same thing that the president does. He understands psychology, and he doesn't actually give you actual facts. He just gives you a dissertation based upon information being presented to him, and he repeats the information based upon him. But I'm doing the same thing. However, I'm just coming at it from a different spin. The idea for which I'm coming at is that Camazotz is rising for people. The unknown, the entropy, the failing or falling of a system for which the second law of thermodynamics, the law of entropy, states was going to happen inevitably anyways. Anaki. Anaki is a Greek deity of inevitability, Anake, right? So once you understand entropy and inevitability, then you know how to plan and deal with correctly. What's the problem with this particular energy? That people just tend to want everything to be perfect, that want everything to be right. So I'm just taking it. So from this actual Chris Brown situation, we can just automatically confer that is just simply the energy of Camazotz rising for the masses. And as conscious folk, as woke folk, we can bring a testament to the dark night of the soul being our psychological transformation to spiritual awakening. So what would happen in the what would be the game plan for humanity afterwards after this? Would it be quote unquote death, or would it just be a spiritual awakening? Right? You take your personal experience, family, for those who are on the live who can bear witness to having a dark night of the soul, and the dark night of the soul being the catalyst to your spiritual awakening. And who is the deity or the energy, the American energy for which personifies the dark night of the soul? Camazotz. They even had a trilogy with one of the best directors of all time, Christopher Nolan, to present this ancient mythology before the masses. So here we are, family. Bats are the most likely reservoir for the SARS-CoV-2, as it is similar to the bat coronavirus. Now, people would say, no, this is not true. It came from 5G. But I would say you are coming at this from a modern psychological point of view. There's only one way that this can be. So in your mind, you set it up to be like this thing can only be one thing, for which is something that I read on my Google account. And whatever I read was the actual factual of the situation. So imagine a million people thinking that everything they read is actual and factual, where in that space, nobody is Nobody is particularly right and nobody is particularly wrong. However, from a psychological point of view, I just feel like my theory presents more of a healthy understanding for where this energy is at and where it's particularly going. And you can argue with me and you can fight with me, and I'll give people plenty of time and space to do that. But before you get into your fear mongering, before you get into your scientific daily breakdowns of what vitamins and nutritions you need, I'm going to say, what is your psychological components to your hero's journey? Do you understand this? So, understanding the hero twins, we understanding Mayan mythology, and I'm like just going through these notes and just explaining this real quick, then going through a quick conclusion. I don't want to hold nobody. No, we got a lot to do. No, y'all busy. No, y'all busy, family. So, Space Jam 1, Space Jam 2. Space Jam 2 comes out 2020. Space Jam 1 came out in 1996. So we have a span from 1996 to 2020 that broke down a period between it's a rat year cycle. How many years is 1996 to 2020? I'll help you out. 24 years, okay? What's today's date, family? Let me check the calendar. 4-4. What's 24? Is that 2 fours? What's today's date? 4-4. Is that 2 fours? Okay. 2020, 2 plus 2. What is that? That's 4. Okay. 823. 8 plus 2 plus 3. That's 13. 1 plus 3. What's that, family? 4. Okay. So when you reference the 444 guy and, representing this actual energy for which Dreamwise is going to be discussing tomorrow with the brother Blue Pill, don't forget this man, Mr. Kobe Bean Bryant, when we bring up the 4-4 energy. Because his number is 8, which is 2 fours. Then he transitioned to 24, which is 2 fours again. Okay. And he transitioned on the actual day after the lunar transition, for which marked the initiation for which he came into the league, 1996, all the way to 2020, to when they kind of took him out the game. But within this particular story is a particular mythology. Of course, you look at Space Jam and you think that shit is all for the kids, right? So that mere thought alone would have you dismissing everything that I'm referencing. However, I need you to understand that this conversation that I'm presenting to you is not finished. So many times y'all listen to a person say something wild before he even explain himself, you just immediately dismiss it as if I can't back up the shit that I'm talking about. But I'm not trying to back my shit up to you. I'm just trying to explain you that this shit is deeper than rap. You think that two people bouncing a basketball and shooting it in a hoop and it control this much hold and sway? Billions of dollars exchanged, millions of people pay attention, children play it, adults play it, college people play it, all of this energy. What is this all representing? Is it just pure athletics or pure sport? When did this actual game start? A lot of them is going to tell you it started with the Olympics and things of that nature, but you're not going to see nobody playing basketball in Greece. Family, you're not going to see nobody playing basketball at the Coliseums. What was they doing? They was letting niggas they was letting a lion eat a chunk of your ass off for sport. If it was Greek and Roman, we'd be sitting there at the Coliseum and shit, defending our lives against goddamn lions and shit. That's their form of entertainment. So when you talk about basketball, football, and soccer, where did that start at? America. It's American tradition. It's a Mayan American tradition. The interesting thing about human beings that live in this country, they have no resonance or no recollection to the energy for which this land is built upon. Y'all can tell me all day about Africa and Egypt. Ain't never been there. Some of y'all been there. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that y'all ain't been there, but I know where y'all have been. America. Y'all been up and down the Mississippi River, got family all over this motherfucker, but still don't understand the mythological story for which and the mythological tradition. What's the mythological tradition of America, family? It's entertainment. It's music. It's festivals. See, they didn't start acting in plays to the 1700s, family. Shakespeare and all of that didn't start until like the 1700s. Why is that? What was the catalyst for them to even explore arts and artistic expression? It was when they came over here in the 1500s and got a whiff of this Mayan American energy, this Olmecan energy, for which we are representations of the Olmecan energy. The Z people, the ogres. See, y'all watch Shrek and think that shit is a game. Shrek is not a game. Shrek is an ancestor, family. And I know I sound crazy. I hear the words that's coming out of my mouth, family. I hear it. I'm talking about truth. That them Olmec heads, it's just Shrek. They ain't gonna show it in right and exact order. They gonna show it in a derogatory form. So when I tell you that Shrek is the Olmec heads, you think I'm full of shit. And don't do your investigations and do your due diligences on the ancient American history and legacy. Because this is something that y'all don't know about. Don't nobody know shit about the American mythology. Everybody know everything about African, Hindu, Nordic, Australia, Hawaii. Start talking about some Mayan shit. Start talking about some hero twin shit. Start talking about some sports and some acting, movies, festivals, music. It's all American. The way we know it, like a city with a stadium and a concert, or a city with a stadium and some sports. It's an American thing. Like they do it in other countries, but what are we talking about? It's the birthplace of everything. It's like we so caught outside of our actual truth that we don't even know where we at no more. That's okay. Camazotz is rising, family. Camazotz is rising. Your duality has got to be dealt with. So the hero twins, they represent duality. They two sides of a single entity. And interestingly enough, they defeat the underworld in a basketball game. This is how they defeat the underworld in a basketball game. The whole mythology is set up on the hero twins defeating the mythology in a basketball game. If it's right and exact or if it's bullshit, I'm not here to judge that. What I am saying is that they figured this shit out through a basketball game. So when we reference 823 God, we reference a particular energy of a particular hero that has went to the underworld that has now been resurrected on 4444. When you Google the day that Kobe Bryant was enshrined into the Hall of Fame, what are they going to tell you, family? They're going to say April 4th, 2020. So let me do this shit one more time. His number is 24. What is 24? 24 is two fours. Before it was 24, his number was 8. What was 8, family? 8 is two fours again. He was born on August, which is 8, 23rd, which is 5. 8 plus 5 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. As of Saturday, April 4th, 2024, Bryant is officially a Hall of Famer. When LeBron passed him, he placed him with exactly 33,644 points in Philadelphia. And if you look at the logo on the court, it is the symbol for the Atlantic border, join or die. What is the Atlantic border? That is the home of Atlantis. That is the home of Atlas. That's why they call it the Atlantic Ocean. That's the Atlantic seaboard. What we talking about now? We talking about the Lenape. We talking about the Seneca. We talking about the Seminole. We talking about ODB's people. We talking about the descendants of Atlanteans that live in this realm, and or we are descendants of because they didn't ever stop fucking. So the blood still exists. Like they killed a lot of us, but it was still people that still fucked and still was able to keep the bloodline alive. Family. And the information, although be it suppressed, is still within the resonance within my voice and the alignment within my tone. For which I'm not telling you nothing bad, that you a descendant of the Atlanteans. I'm telling you something good. I'm telling you something that you can actually grow with. So this black mask that these dudes was wearing, they had to outlaw it because you got to look up the stats when they was wearing those black masks. Crazy stats. He's like, y'all can't wear those black masks. But the black mask was just a play to the Mayan energy because that's how they players used to play ball. They would play ball with the mask because that would indicate that it was a drama or it was a thing. Like, yeah, they playing basketball, but you know, Keisha is mad at Zena Babu. They got beef. And that's why they painted that, because it was game 7. It was real intense in the ancient world. But Zenobabu was a bad guy because that's why they painted him with a mask on. No different from when we watch sports and we understand the storylines for which makes it captivating is more than them just playing the basketball. It's lineage, legacies, people trying to be healthy to play with their sons, all within the mythology. You can do the research yourself and see the comparisons and the understandings. Like Kobe, it's all about his relationship with his father because his father played in the NBA. So he trying to live up to the legacy of his father. No different from the Hero twins. They was trying to avenge their father's death and trying to defeat Camazotz. So more or less, the truth is much stranger than fiction. So I'm gonna just get into this mythology. But before we get into that, let's deal with some more fiction.
Minutes. I mean, we're talking about a huge fine here.
No way, Coach. We can't go in like
Heard what happened to Barkley and Ewing. It's got to be germs in there or something.
Yeah. That was in New York, 3,000 miles away.
bacteria like that can travel faster than the speed of light.
Yeah, it could be invasion of body stitches.
Yeah, it could be. All right. Dress in the hallway.
Okay.
Listen, after meeting with team owners, I have decided that until we can guarantee the health and safety of our NBA players, there will be no more basketball this season.
That was in 1996, family. Here we are, 2020, actually living that shit out. And that ineffectively caused a quarantine and a lockdown in Gotham City. However, we just actually tying it all into what's actually happening with the lockdown and it actually centering on sports and all of these things happening where it took actually sports to be the catalyst for people to start taking this shit seriously. I tell you one thing. If the professionals and the athletes and the movie theaters didn't get behind this project, it wouldn't have been successful. Just put it like that. But even more deeper, let's just continue this conversation. And I'm gonna go through these notes and I'm gonna kind of tie in everything that I've been saying thus far, where you just thought I was like really, really crazy. This book is from a book called Mayan America. Yeah, Mayan America. And so I'm gonna just kind of read through it, elaborate it, and then go through, just conclude this whole video because I'm not here to kind of just talk and talk and talk and talk. I'm just trying to explain some shit. So, sports establishes the relationship between gods and humans, even the celestial gods and the gods of the underworld. Another level of this is that one of the main things about sports is betting. So, that's what drives sports, the underworld, more than actual the overworld, because a better can go to a player like, look, yo mama, real sweet lady, I like her a lot, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't want nothing to happen to her, right? No. So instead of scoring 32, which I know you can score 32, I'm gonna need you to score 28. And I'm gonna need y'all to lose by 4 points, all right? I know you can beat them by 6, but I need you to lose by 4, okay? Because your mom, she's just a nice lady, right? She's a nice lady, right? Right? Nice lady? Yeah, okay. Good. So you might watch that game. You know that you're gonna cover. Is it like you missed the cover by 2 points? You wonder why that always happened, because the underworld particularly rules the sporting realm. So many scandals in that realm, in the realm of like betting and stuff like that. But that's just one example. It gets much deeper. When I said earlier, the Spaniards arrived in the 16th century and laid the foundations for modern football, soccer, basketball, volleyball, and other ball games. And this is when the Spaniards arrived to America in the 16th century. The Popol Vuh establishes the ritual importance of the Maya ball game as more than just sport. We are in America. We are in what we call Maya, and where we look at ball is more than just a sport. What is LeBron James' tagline? Tagline. He's more than just an athlete. Google LeBron James, Google more than just an athlete. He said that shit for 2 years straight. What was he talking about? He's talking about that he's a God walking on earth. How is LeBron James a God walking on earth? Because he plays sports. Your ass can't play sports. Your ass, no matter. See, these niggas kill me, man. I wish I had a camera. I would pause this whole video. I can. Let me stop share. Start video. No, I'm gonna leave it alone, man. I'm gonna just leave it alone because people kill me, right? They'll diss something that somebody can't do, like a singer, an athlete, and act like that they're not a level of God, or they hold a position of like resonance beyond you. They actually do. So when you understand that you are able to understand the God level through these particular athletes and celebrities, then you able to understand the totality of it. You able to understand the hero twin aspect of it, where one does not live without the other. Death does not live without the rebirth. So the hero twins, they play the ball game with gods of the underworld. They played the ball game with the gods of the underworld. What is that? That's just Space Jam, where they go to the underworld at the golf court, at the golf course where the mounds are at, go to the underworld and play a basketball game. Here you thought Looney Tunes was being creative. You thought that they was creative geniuses for thinking of that. Obviously, they just picked it up from the mythology, whether consciously or subconsciously. The mythology predates Space Jam by centuries. So the actual death and resurrection in the underworld games that they play are a metaphor for death and rebirth on earth. The same way as people's lives, they go up and down. rich and poor, sun, moon, night, dark. We've already experienced our dark night of the soul. So when this particular energy hit, we just got our feet up, hands behind the back of our heads, and we just waiting for this particular energy to die down so we can go back to normalcy. The same thing that happened in the dark night of our soul. But this time we more aware of the particular energy. So the public space of Royal Maya Ball Courts afforded a ritual location for the performance of other elite activities, including plays, musicals, or festivals. Pictorial depictions often show musicians playing at ball games. The depiction of mass players underscores the dramatic, ritual aspect of the ball game and the link other forms of drama that may have unfolded on the court, as suggested by the painted murals. Mass, drama, intensity, storylines, legacy, new gods, battling the old gods, gods nonetheless. Here we got our gods trapped in this cycle of game playing. However, they're good at the game. They more advanced in the game than even our understanding. So this is a real key point, and I'll close with this. Thanks for everybody for joining me. But as warfare became endemic during the late Classic in the Maya lowlands, human sacrifice became a more common outcome of the ball game, i.e. Kobe Bryant, Nipsey Hussle, Pop Smoke, all these particular energies happening back to back in the same location. Los Angeles, where the Forum is, the Staples Center, LeBron James, the Clippers, the center of basketball. Of course, it's just a game where dudes is bouncing basketballs, but at an esoteric level, it is the gods battling for supremacy. And they have teams and mascots. So Dream was talking about the Super Bowl, the Chiefs and the 49ers. In the last Super Bowl, it was the Chiefs versus the 49ers. The 49ers were a group of manifest destiniers from the eastern parts of the United States coming to San Francisco for gold. However, there were Native Americans there, i.e. chiefs, already there living in bliss and happy and harmony. So in order to take full control of the gold, the energies or the entities that be placed a bounty upon the Native Americans, a very low bounty. So in order to get a lot of money, you had to kill a lot of people. And once this all took place, the 49er energy was able to take root and take center. So the San Francisco that you know is built upon that particular energy. The 49ers that you root for, the Colin Kaepernick energy, is what you root for. However, the Chiefs came through and mollywopped their ass, ultimately turning the tides of history. And of course, it's all fun and games, and the truth is stranger than fiction. But you tell me what's more resonant and what's more powerful right now in this understanding of this particular energy. I don't know how I got to this particular place, but I do know that I'm here and I'm seeing things for what they are. So I just feel honored and privileged to bring this energy to your energy so you can begin to do your own research and begin to help me understand this energy at a deeper level. For I'm just the person that's just doing the research and understanding these particular downloads, but I'm not the only person. This is a group collective effort. So I invite everybody to join me on the Slack, continue to join and let me know the energies for which you see. Because if we now understand that the human beings were actually enacting godlike rituals and sacrifices and ceremonies and things of that nature, is a deeper indication that you are gods at even a deeper level. So as this energy rises, just know what's about to happen. We're dealing with a spiritual awakening. And as this spiritual awakening takes place, just continue to be positive, continue to be patient, continue to spend your days wisely, learn, grow, love, experience. Be sure to hit me up at hoodmystic.com. Hoodmystic@gmail.com is the email. And after that, man, y'all just have a great day. And I'm about to end this meeting, end this live. Y'all have a wonderful evening wherever you find this live. Like, share, subscribe to video, and all of that good stuff, family. Peace.